Hi, today's Grow Joe. It's a bit horrible outside, so in my shed. And I don't know if you can see, I'm making something. Now, if I look in my dad's ancient old gardening book, there's lots of helpful tips in here and lots of fantastic machines we can no longer buy anymore and everything. But this one is Adam the Gardener from, I think it was the Daily Express at the time. And it comes up with something which is a way of keeping all the pigeons off your seedlings. Now, what they do in the book here is they put a bar of wood going across in the soil and nails on the top and strings running across. Now I've varied the design slightly because I'm like that. Somebody shows me something, I'll try and improve it. So now what I'm doing is making a sort of house shape, yeah, with little legs. Now these are all at 45 degrees if you need to cut them, and I always find that if you stick a screw, well, if your bench top's like mine, it's made out of old scrap wood, if you stick a screw in, it makes a great place for you to be able to put the screws back in with. There's something to bear against. So I'm looking where I'm going to put it on the piece of wood. I'm going to put it about there. I'll do what I normally don't do. Mark it. Get it halfway through. I'm using sort of a rough softwood, so therefore I'm using decking screws. And the reason for using decking screws is that they're thinner, so they go in a little bit easier without splitting the timber. Now there's my house shape already finished. Next thing I need, now I'm one of these people who recover old screws. And these are screws I've used before, built something, and now I want to recover them. So now what I'm going to do is start to put these in. Now I'm going to start right at the end. I've got a little spacer here because I measured everything. I'm not completely useless. Put the screws in like that. Now I've made a little spacer, so that helps me put in the next screw. And on and on and on. Isn't this a lot easier measuring it? Spacers there. And I go along. Now I'm going to do both sides of this and the top. The top's the awkward one, but none of this is rocket science. I'm going to put the top one in there. This is the worst one of the whole lot, and well, actually I'll put another one in the side because that makes the top rather awkward. So that can go in like that. And then another one on top. And I'm going to put that straight in the middle. This is the most awkward one of the whole lot. Yeah? Now, let's have a look. There it is, with the screws on top. Now what I'm going to do is make another one of these. I'm not going to bore you with sitting here and doing it and loading it up on a dojo. Here you can see where all the nails have gone in. Now two of these next to each other. I'll tilt it up a bit. You can see the mess in my shed, but that's about all. There. So two of these next to each other, and then I'm going to run strings between them. So put a loop on this, makes it easier in this instance. That will go on there like that, onto the next one, and then back around and then onto the next one again. And so eventually you end up like with a network of strings going across your seedlings. Now that's enough to annoy the pigeons and keep them off your seedlings. And that's all you really have to do to give your seedlings a chance. Once they get to big enough, then nothing will touch them. But the rain will get in and everything, so it's not like putting plastic over them. And netting, sometimes it covers up the slugs from the little birds that may nip in and take all the slugs. So I'm going to carry on now and put the rest of the screws in, and then make a second one, and then when I get up to the allotment, these will push in the ground up to here, and then that will just be a little cloche with a couple of string lines, enough to keep the pigeons off my delicate seedlings. And if you've got trouble cutting anything like this, don't worry too much about it. You can have a leap of alkathene, the blue pipe that you see often in offcuts, and you can put screws in that, and providing you put a piece of wire at the bottom, something like this, that will keep the loop trapped in a sort of horseshoe shape, and then the screws over the top then can have string lines running across it. Or you could do the old-fashioned way, which just uses one piece of timber with a load of screws in it, and then another piece of timber to hold it down. The only thing I find is the birds usually get underneath, but it just keeps them away, just gives you that little bit of a break. And it's something that I got out of my dad's old gardening book, and I know a lot of people that use this technique. Anyway, that's it from me today, and I will say goodbye. By the way, the book is from the 1940s or 50s, so quite old. So you can probably find one on Amazon, God knows. Anyway, it's it for me today, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.